Hi, welcome to Patta Empires. My name is Patta. I'm the immigrant, a restaurant owner, a mother, wife, and the Empress. I didn't always feel this way. I was so lost in the past. This podcast will show you how I built and continue to build my empires. If you ever feel lost but you know you meant for more, I'm here to show you the outlook and skill for you to build your own empires. So this episode we will talk about how do I start the whole empire without money. So money is the biggest problem. I know that a lot of people have a good idea on how you can, change the world. You have a very good strategy. You have a perfect business plans to get your own empire going or start your own business. But the biggest problem is, where do you find the money? I don't know, because I never start anything with money. Money never be my problem because I don't have any. And this is what happens. I would, try to figure out what I have at this point for me to be able to do something. For example, I put myself into broke after trying to do a nail salon with a friend, start a food cart, runnings, I don't know, Amways, whatever, everything. The end of the day, none of those business make money back. All I did is just keep losing money. So when it gets me to the point that I have nothing left with, newborn babies, I don't have any money to start anything. That's why looking around and see was an opportunity for me to be able to start something at that point. So I look into food booth at the farmer market. So again, you probably spend $50 a day for the booth. You probably buy your equipment couple $100, and then you will be able to sell your products. So I don't know how I do it. I just never think money would be a problem or money would be something that stopped me from what I want to do. And that's why I always find my way around. Another example is, when I have a possibility to take over my friend's food cart, tie me up. So she want to rent it out and she want to ask for $2,500 a month to rent her cart, plus the buildings for people to sit and eat, which, it's not a bad deal, but I don't have that amount of money in my pocket. After moving to Portland, spent a lot of money, and I probably have a little bit more $1,000 in my pocket. So I basically asked her that, do you able to give me half price for the first 3 months, and then we go from there, and she can say no, but you never know if people would say yes or say no if you never ask. So at least I asked, and then she want to help me, so she allowed me to do it that way. So then I could start my food cart with just paying half price for the rent and have a little bit enough to buy ingredients to start day one at food cart, and then running late day by days, buying ingredients just enough to sell for a day, 2, 3, 4, and keep collecting. And it could be when it get to a next step that I want to open the restaurant, there's no way for me to go out there and then lease a space, build everything out, or buy a business for $100,000 that people will, sell a business or pick a good location. So what I do at that point is just okay, let's look around what the option out there, take my time until I could find actual restaurant that they just want to rent it out. So you don't need to pay for like turnkey business. You don't need to buy the business. All I have to do is like save up the money enough for the rent. But then it's just make me have to drive 2 hours away from food cart to start my actual restaurant. Being flexible, like I very am able to relocating. So because of I don't have a lot of like budget to pick location. So what I do is I just ready to if I have to move somewhere around and be able to start my things, or if that could be something that get me through, my dreams, I would able to like move my whole family. So we moved all the way from Portland, Oregon to Lincoln City, Oregon. And from Lincoln City, Oregon, move all the way to Seaside, Oregon. It's just, it's the same way. Like I looking for a property that there used to be a restaurant, and even though I have to put in a lot of works, most of the construction works, Kim could do it. So many times I and Kim would like paint ourselves, putting the counter ourselves, or putting equipment ourselves, or do a little like construction that doesn't need the the license or permit or anything, like any kind of renovation construction, like we be able to do ourselves. So that's how I save a lot of money. So having Kim is very benefit for me. So we could, start a lot like restaurant without money, without a lot of money, and because I didn't put a lot of money into my business, it didn't take me a long time to gain like return of investments. And another thing that I'm pretty good at is like asking questions and asking for help. Like I remember when I got the lead for Tie Me Up in Seaside is when, we come up with a deal that the landlord would give me a month free rent, but without knowing what happened in there, I opened the door, get in there, and we know like there are a lot of stuff that needs to work on. Like I need to put in the new compressor, I need to put in like the new water heaters into the buildings, and with the construction, there's no way for me to like open within a month. And I'm a person like if I can't make money, it's hard for me to like pay rent and why I'm doing the construction. So again, like I'm going back and ask the landlord if he could, help me, either like help me put stuff together or give me more free rents for me to able to get everything going, get my door open, and I could be able to pay him rent consistency. Negotiations. Negotiation is this best skill that I have. Um, and it's go back to like asking, because again, like if you're afraid to ask, you will never get what you want. So negotiation is you can come up with a reason, right? Let's say, like let's say this. When I got the building, when I'm doing a deal in okay, let's talk about the deal that I was doing in Astoria, which is like a big building in Pier 12. The rent is pretty high, but the location, the views, and everything is like that's basically like if they're not COVID, it's gonna be super hard for somebody like me to be able to run that building. So again, COVID gave me an opportunity, but that building was a fine dining restaurant for over 20 years, and because COVID hit, they couldn't make it. So they walk out with like leaving every single item in the restaurant. So the landlord basically like taking that and put it as a turnkey. So they was asking for like $100,000 for those equipment in there, plus the rent. But since the building has been empty for a long time, and by the time that I'm interested in there, they can't get any deal done. So good timings when everything works out is get to, I ask for some tenants improvement to do the maintenance on the building, and they asked too low. At first they asked too low the price, half price, but then get some tenants improvement from him. But then he come back with like, okay, you can be okay with half price of equipment, but we won't give you the we okay with half price for equipment, but we won't give you the tenants improvement. So what happened is I go back to them. If you're not gonna give me tenant improvement, how about I'm not paying for for the equipment, and things back and forward to the point that fine, let's just get the deal done. Like negotiation is my best things that I ever had. It's not just about I'm going to get a good deal, but a lot of time negotiation I use to, talk with employees. When employee want to, I use like those things to talk about with employees. I use a lot of negotiation with my kids. Like if my kids was like, hey, mommy, can we go shopping? And I'm going to be like, sure, but in order for us to go shopping, can we make money first? So how about you help me doing this? So I have, my oldest one going to turn 7. No, I'm sorry. My oldest one going to turn 6 next month. My youngest one is 18 months, and I always have them involved and be around me when I do jobs. So like the end of the night when the restaurant closed, they would come out and then help like clean tables, change the trash can, or even like clean something, like just make them do something and be proud they are being part of this business. So in the conclusion of you want to start your own business with no money or with a little bit of the money is you need to try to do a negotiation, ask for help, be flexible, and also try to do the work yourself as much as possible before you pay somebody else to do the work. Last things and most important thing is just do it. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Patta's Empires. I hope you find it beneficial. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out the next episodes. And stay in touch with Patta's Empire in other platforms. Don't forget, stay humble, stay hungry.